Well, guys, a Nintendo Direct has been announced. Let's talk about this. So, yeah, a Nintendo Direct has been announced. At the time of this recording, it's been 2 hours since then. So let's talk about that. Make sure you hit the 4 buttons on your screen. A like would be nice. Be sure to comment, especially share, and why subscribe because I make Nintendo Direct videos and reaction and things to that nature. And in today's video, we're gonna do some prediction. So yeah, Nintendo has officially announced that rumored Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 Direct happening this Friday, not tomorrow, as it usually is. Nintendo Direct, they usually happen on Thursdays, but in this instance, we're getting a Direct for Friday. And why did they pick Friday? Well, that's because, and that's going to be my first prediction. As of Friday, September 12, 2025, the Super Mario Bros. Series, well, basically Super Mario Bros. 1, came out on the NES on September 12th. So that means that this Friday marks the 40th anniversary of the Super Mario Bros. Series, and Nintendo is going to make a special Super Mario Bros. 40th anniversary event. I mean, that's basically my prediction for this coming Friday because obviously that will be it'll be 40 years since Super Mario Bros. 1 came out on the NES. So of course they're going to not just announce a direct on that day, but they will definitely make a huge announcement on the 40th anniversary of this series. So I'm expecting something along the line of a brand new 3D Mario to commemorate the 40th anniversary, and at least for 50, not 50, 15 minutes of Super Mario Brothers info. Maybe they will talk about like what makes Mario special, and we'll maybe go back in time to the very first game. We'll do some walking down memory lane. So basically, we'll have like 15 minutes of Mario Brothers goodness, and that will lead up to the announcement of a 3D Mario or maybe a 2D Mario, whichever comes first. So yeah, expect some new Mario Brothers information, including 3D Mario. Let's go. So that is what I'm expecting to see. The very first thing we're going to be seeing at that direct, a brand new 3D Mario and something to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the Mario Brothers series. Next up, I'm thinking we're going to see some Pokemonlegendsza, some new information on that. Hopefully, we're going to see a brand new, shiny, new. Why did I even say shiny? A brand new evolution, Mega Evolve form of a brand new Pokemon, for Pokemon Legends ZA. So, of course, a reminder that this game is coming out October 16, and we might be getting a new trailer. Next up, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Now, this is highly likely that we're going to see some Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It's long overdue. We need a release date like yesterday. And I'm expecting a release date, an actual release date for that game to be announced at that direct. If we don't get a release date for that game, I don't know what's going on in Nintendo. But I'm expecting, we all have that itch for a Prime 4 release date. So come on, Nintendo, bring us that release date. And after that, I'm expecting some Hyrule Warrior Age of Imprisonment. Some information on that game. It's listed right now as like coming this winter. So I'm expecting like a January announcement, like a January release date, or maybe they will say something like January or March release dates, but they're not going to give us an actual day of when it's coming out. Maybe something like January or March or whatever. But I'm expecting some new information for that game. Maybe some new footage, maybe a new trailer, some new information on the game or the story, whichever comes first. And Yeah, even though we recently had a dedicated direct for that next game, that is Kirby Air Riders, I'm expecting some tidbits from that game, like maybe like a 1 to 2 minutes trailer of some brand new stuff for that game for Kirby Air Riders. But we're not going to actually see something massively new. Maybe like a review of what we know about Kirby Air Riders. That's what I'm expecting to see for that game. Another direct. I'm expecting another direct for Kirby Air Riders sometime in November or October, and I'm not sure if they're going to talk about that direct at that particular Nintendo direct, the one that is coming for Air Riders. But I'm expecting some Air Riders information. And Fire Emblem. Okay, Fire Emblem, that game is long overdue. Okay, like we've been hearing this um massive rumor about Fire Emblem Holy War coming out, and I was on board for that rumors because I'm a huge fan of Fire Emblem, as far as you can tell. I'm a huge fan of that game. I'm a huge fan of Holy War. People have been say of every news outlets, every rumored. They're all speculating that Fire Emblem Holy War is real and spectacular, and I was all down for it. And then every direct that came out, we haven't seen nothing for that game, and this is going to be the last opportunity for Nintendo to announce that particular game. If not that particular game, at least a brand new entry for the Switch 2. I want to see Fire Emblem Holy War or nothing. Or no, not nothing. I want to see Fire Emblem Holy War or a brand new Fire Emblem game. And yeah, we need to see some Fire Emblem game for the Switch too. I'm expecting some Octopath Traveler information, like Octopath Traveler 0, which is scheduled for December 4th. Maybe we'll have a dedicated segment, I don't know. But that's what I'm expecting for first party and third party. For third party titles, I'm expecting something like some few announcements, some new information on Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evilest Chronicles. That's coming out September 30th, so very soon, like in 2-3 weeks. I'm expecting some brand new footage, some brand maybe like a segment for that game. I'm expecting to see also the Dusk Bloods. That one was announced for the Switch too. Maybe we'll have like a dedicated segment for that game, and it will maybe probably come out like late 2026. Maybe like a story, but maybe like a story segment for that game. Something related to Sonic Racing CR.Worlds. We might see some Sonic Racing CR.Worlds. That one's scheduled for September 25th, very soon also. We might get a final trailer. But it's also listed for the Switch 2 coming out for 2026 because it's coming out very soon in other platforms. But for Switch 2, it's coming out like later, like earlier 2026. So we might see something related to Sonic Racing CR.Worlds. Maybe like a dual release, specific enhancement to be highlighted. I don't know. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrates. That one is coming out later this year. We might get an announcement, or like an actual like release date announcement. Maybe a detailed look, a showcase on how it's performing on the Switch 2. Maybe like it's like 40K, 120 FPS like Metroid Prime 4. I don't know. Something along the line of that. Maybe some new features that is like Switch 2, that is dedicated for the Switch 2 only. Elden Ring, we need to see some Elden Ring Tarnish Edition. That's also coming out later this year. We are in Q4 2025, so either November or December we need to see some release date for those two games: Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrates and Elden Ring. What else? Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. I'm guessing we might see something based on that game. Maybe, I mean, it's listed for 2025 or so. We don't know much about that game. Deca Police, that one is coming out 2026. We might get some new information on that game. And Hades 2 is also coming out later this year. A release window or a new trailer will be like a major announcement for that particular game, Hades 2. Something related to that game already came out like last week. Hollow Knight 6 song. We might get some new information, maybe some DLC that actually might get imported into the game. Hopefully, it's not going to be like another DLC that's going to be turned into a brand new game and we're going to have to wait like 7 years for it. We don't want that. At least a DLC for that particular game. Hollow Knight 6 song. What else? Star Wars Outlaw, something related to that game. It recently made some headline based on its performance and all that good stuff. We might see something related to that. Um, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky first chapters, that one is releasing very soon, so we might see some new information on that as well. Maybe like a final launch trailer, and maybe that's highly probable. And one more last two more games that I'm predicting. Assassin's Creed Shadows, we still haven't heard anything about a Switch 2 version of that game, so I'm expecting some Assassin's Creed Shadows. And one from Square Enix, oh actually two from Square Enix. The first one is the Adventures of Elliot. We got a demo on that one. That game is really good, so we might expect to see some new information on that game. Maybe they will talk about how we like what we think of the demo. We might get some reception on what the demo is, how the demo is according to those who've played it. We might get some results from the developers. We might get some information from the developers of what we think of the demo, and then they're going to maybe announce a brand new demo coming out. So that's Adventure of Elliot, and then the last one I'm thinking Dragon Quest, something Dragon Quest related. Dragon Quest 1 and 2. That one is coming out very soon also, and Dragon Quest 12. We haven't heard about Dragon Quest 12 in a long time, so I would love to see some Dragon Quest 12, at least a trailer, something like a huge announcement for Dragon Quest 12. I want to see some Dragon Quest 12 for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have for prediction. Not too crazy, not too over the top. They're pretty much playing on the safe side. If I don't get too many, like, if I don't hit all those points, that's okay. At least one thing I want to see in these coming directs: Final Fantasy 7 Remake integrates, and Elden Ring, Mario, something 40th anniversary related, and Metroid Prime 4. These are the 4 games I want to see on this Nintendo Directs. I want to see Fire Emblem also, but I've been disappointed by that game not being announced so many times before. I'm kind of giving up hope, but like I said, this is my last opportunity to see some Fire Emblem from Fire Emblem game on the Switch and the Switch 2. So hopefully we get to see that holy war, that goodness, holy war. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys are expecting to see on this upcoming Nintendo Direct. With that being said, I'm gonna go. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit your likes, share, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. Until next time, bye.